All right, guys, I am your AI government contractor. This is AI government contracting, and today we're going to be looking at how to get into business with the Canadian government. And guys, on the last video, one of the subscribers called me out. He said, "Hey man, you forgot to talk about the Canadian government solicitations." And I actually agree, I did. For disclosure, I just want to let you know that right now I'm really focused on SAM.gov and United States Procurement Program. Okay. And that's because I have an LLC in the States, and I think there's more opportunity as it relates to the United States Procurement Program. But I did do some research on getting into Canadian procurement, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, without wasting any more time, guys, I've broken this down into 3 steps. So, my promise for you in this video is that you're going to have the high level overview on what it's like to get started with the Canadian government procurement program. And I am actually going to go into the Canada Buy Sell website and read one of the solicitations using our 3-step framework. Buckle your seatbelt, guys. Let's move in. So, step 1 is pretty obvious. It's register your business, okay? You're going to want to register your business. Now, this comes in 2 folds. Important information. Canadian contracts can be bid by United States companies, okay? So if you have a company in the United States, you can also bid on Canadian solicitations. But first, let's talk about being in Canada, okay? I am based in Canada, by the way, if you don't remember from the last video. If you're in Canada, the first thing you need to do is choose your legal structure. Are you going to be a sole proprietor? Is this a potential partnership with a business partner? Is this a corporation? You're going to have to pick your legal structure, okay? And after you do that, you're going to register your business name. Now, it's either you register your business name on a provincial level or a federal level. You can easily do it on a provincial level. It's not that big a deal for you to get federal level, except you're looking for extra protections, which that offers you. But for the sake of government procurement, registering your business name on a provincial level here in Canada, be it Ontario, be it Vancouver, you can register on the business level, and that is going to actually help you get your business number, okay? And your procurement number. Now, you're going to need to obtain the necessary licenses and documents. So you're going to get a business number. You're going to need to get a procurement business number, okay? And you're going to need to get security clearance. Now, the security clearance is not always required. And like I said, if you go in and do some research about how to start doing business with the Canadian government, you're going to find that some people are going to tell you need to get like 6 to 7 certificates, qualifications. But depending on the contract that you're pursuing, security clearance might not be asked for. But you will always, and I repeat, mark my words, guys. Let me just make myself a little bit bigger here so you can get it. You're going to need a business number, and you're going to need a procurement business number. Mandatory to start bidding on any contracts. Okay, we got that clear. Now, like I said, United States companies are allowed to bid on Canadian contracts. So in order for you to get your business in the United States, the process is a bit similar. You want to pick your business structure. Is it going to be a sole proprietorship? Is it going to be a partnership? Is it going to be a corporation, S Corp, C Corp, LLC? Like I told you, I have an LLC in the US, which gives me the eligibility to bid on contracts after signing up to SAM.gov, okay? So you're going to want to do that in the United States, but that's going to actually take us to step 2. And this might be a question like, oh, okay, so if I have a business in the US, am I just going to be able to bid on Canadian contracts? Well, you're going to need to get a CRA number, okay? It's not going to be that simple. If you have a business in the US or if you have a business in Canada, you're still going to need to get a CRA number. Okay, so for businesses in Canada and US selling goods or services to the Canadian government, you must have a CRA. So register for a non-resident CRA business number if you're outside Canada. So if you are in the US or if you have a corporation somewhere else, I'm not sure about what other countries can actually bid on Canadian contracts. I don't think it's just the US. But outside the US, or rather outside Canada, you need to make sure that you register for a non resident CRA business number. This is essential for tax and compliance. Anything that has to do with taxes in Canada goes through the Canadian Revenue Agency. And this is going to help you to facilitate any transaction or eligibility in bidding. Look, in your proposal for the Canadian government bidding process, you're going to need to provide this number. So do not think that this is something you can skim over on. Step 3, you're going to register with SAP Ariba. Now, from my understanding, SAP Ariba is actually a logistics and procurement cloud-based software. So this is essentially where you're going to register your business so you can get first dibs on the Canadian contracts as they come out. I was reading through some of the requisitions online and I saw that these solicitations appear first on SAP Ariba. So getting an account here, this is one of those things that you have to do. Without an account on SAP Ariba, you cannot engage in procurement activities. This software actually helps you to, one, view the solicitations, two, bid on the solicitations, and also helps with invoicing and other important components of government procurement. SAP Ariba for Canadian government procurement is necessary, okay? It's going to give you access to the procurement opportunities. It's going to streamline the process. That's actually the benefit of this. Like anybody who's done government contracting with SAM.gov, you know that you're submitting your proposal directly to the contracting officer. Here, you're going to be submitting the proposal to SAP Ariba, okay? Where the contracting officer will have the ability to view it. No contracting officer in Canada is going to accept a bid via their email. Let's just make that clear, okay? And it enhances your visibility to procurement officers as well. Some of the contact information for the higher up procurement officers would not be on the Canada buy sell. Also, the Canada buy sell is not updated as quickly as SAP Ariba. And remember, SAP Ariba is a cloud-based software company that handles logistics and procurement. You're going to need to complete your company profile. So I was actually learning that the more complete and together your SAP Ariba profile is, the more priority you'll be given by a procurement officer. And that doesn't mean you're going to get special treatment. What I'm saying is that favor is going to be given to the people who complete the requirements over people who do not. Typically, these things go on a pass and fail basis. So if you fail, you're going to be seen as non-compliant and anything you submit would not be considered. Okay? Now, that is everything you need to actually get into business with the Canadian government. Step 1, you need to register your business, whether you're in the States or you're in Canada. You need to register with a state or province. You need to select the kind of corporation that you are. Step 2, obtain a CRA number. This is important if you are in or out of Canada. It's essential for tax purposes, okay? Anything that has to do with taxes in Canada goes through the CRA. And then step 3, register on SAP Ariba. Now, what I actually want to do right now is simple. Back here, we're going into the Canada buys page. And the reason we're going in here is because we are going to be looking at some of the solicitations posted on Canada buys. And we're going to use our 3-step framework to read this solicitation and actually see if we can understand the solicitation or if it's any different from what we have been reading in the US. Now, the interface is obviously a little bit different. And when you come into this initial interface, the first thing you want to go to is tender opportunities. Once you click on tender opportunities, you're going to be guided to this page right here. It's showing 50 out of 157,000 results. Okay, so when we looked at the US the other day, it was 5 million. So we can already tell that there are way more opportunities in the US procurement system. But that's not really what we're here to debate on. We're going to read the solicitations and see if we understand them. Oh, so what I'm looking at right in front of me right now, just right off the bat, the Department of National Defense, the DND. It's a service based solicitation, and it's actually due. Okay, it's open today and it's due on the 10th of this month. It's an RFI, so it's request for information, automatic identification technology. Okay. Well, we're not going to pay any attention to RFIs because we pay more attention to, if anybody can remember, RFPs, request for proposals, because an RFI has a low commitment to purchase. In fact, I would say no commitment to purchase because it's still at the initial stage of the solicitation. But let's look for something like power washing. This is just a random search, but power washing. Let's see what we can find. And I'm also going to go into the filter here. Closing date. I don't want something that's closing in the next 30 days. This is just so we have time to actually go in, call subcontractors, get a quote, create the proposal, and send it out in enough time. Okay. So we have corporate office window washing and exterior cleaning services. Okay. There's no category here, but I can make a wise guess and say this is a service. Okay. And the close date is the 15th of April. Just off the bat here, this is Air Cadet Power Pilot Training Course. It's a service, national defense. I've never looked into anything like this, so let's try it. Air Cadet Power Pilot Training Course. As part of its mandates to deliver a youth program in Canada, the Department of National Defense, as represented by the Commander National Cadet and Junior Canadian Ranger Support Group, has a requirement and the authority to deliver the Power Pilot training course to selected Royal Canadian Air Cadets. Okay, interesting. Contract duration is 8 months. It's an 8-month contract. Procurement method is competitive open bidding. Let's actually ask ChatGPT what this means. Let's say in simple words, let's start a new chat. Simple words. Explain and then paste it right there. In simple terms, a procurement method called competitive open bidding is a way organizations buy goods, services, or work from suppliers. Here's how it's broken down. Competitive. This part means that multiple suppliers are invited to submit offers. It encourages competition among suppliers, aiming to get the best value for the buyers, whether in terms of cost, quantity, or other factors. Open bidding. This means bidding process is open to any qualified supplier who wants to make an offer. The details about what is needed and how to submit a bid are made publicly available. Okay, so we understand that this open bidding, this open competitive bidding means that it's open for suppliers who are qualified to take on the role. But let's see the bidding details here. Okay, questions and answers. Okay, RFP. This is the English version. RFP means, again, a request for proposal. We're going to download this request for proposal. Now, once the request for proposal is downloaded, we upload this guy into ChatGPT. Break down this RFP and explain how they want their bids submitted. Let's go. All right, guys. ChatGPT has finished giving us all that information that we're looking for. And it says, based on the provide RFP, request for proposal, for the Air Cadet Power Pilot training course, here's a breakdown of how they want their bid submitted, including key points for preparation and submission. So the general overview: proposal to National Defense Canada offering to sell goods and services under the terms and conditions set aside in the document. The bid is going to be report is going to Comrie. I hope I didn't butcher your name, but look at this. Important details for submission, guys. What you're going to have on that cover page, on that when you need to make sure you post all the documents, all the codes, the solicitation number, the date of the solicitation, your cage code. This is giving you all that right now. You have that solicitation number, which is going to be important. But the key instructions for bid preparations, it says bidder instructions, it says provide instructions, clauses, and conditions applicable to this bid solicitation, emphasizing the necessity for all prices quoted to include acceptable Canadian custom duties, GST, HST, and delivery charges. They're just telling you guys, make sure to put everything in. You don't want to be in a situation where you're awarded a contract and then you're like, man, I need an extra 20 grand to finish this job because I didn't add my customs duties or I didn't add my GSTs or HST. All the charges must be added. Bid instructions. Okay, Canada requests that the bidder submits their bid in separately bound sections. Do you see that? In separately bound sections, meaning technical bid, financial bid, and certifications. All these things need to be separate. Prices should only appear in the financial bid, right? This is very clear instructions, by the way. And then the evaluation procedure details how bids will be assessed, including mandatory technical and financial evaluation criteria. See, in most of these bids, what you're going to find is that there is one aspect of the bid that has the heavier weighing decision power. It could be price. It could be that you have the best price, hence you win the award. It could also be technical statement could hold more than price. Okay, and here they explain this to you perfectly. Requirements for bid submission, electronic submission. Highlight potential technical issues with email submission and stress the importance of confirming receipt of all documents before the closing date. Former public servant disclosure requires information regarding any former public servant involved in the bid to ensure compliance with Treasury Board policies. You need to be able to read these carefully, okay? But let's see. Specific aspects to address in the bid. This is important. Technical and financial details. Clearly separate technical and financial aspects of the proposal, ensuring no prices are indicated in the technical section. Compliance with applicable laws and standards. Ensure that all aspects of the bid comply with the laws in force in Ontario unless otherwise specified by the bidder. Okay, guys, we've just looked at a solicitation for Air Cadet Power Pilot Training course. Okay, it's giving us an idea of how the bid should be submitted. But let's go further and ask what the work needed to be done. The work required for the Air Cadet Power Pilot Training course, as outlined in the RFP, involves several key components aimed at providing up to 175 selected air cadets with the opportunity to earn a Transport Canada private pilot license. Wow, that's amazing. 173 selected air cadets with the opportunity to earn a Transport Canada private pilot license for an airplane. So this is the PPLA. That's a very interesting one to go for. So, look, we're not going to go into reading all of this. You can actually go onto the Canada Buys and look at this yourself using some of these prompts that I have used to understand the solicitation. But, guys, this video was about how to get into business with the Canadian government in the right way. No gray area, no higgy hagging. You have to follow the rules. And we read one of the solicitations on the Canada Buys website. Guys, that'll be all for today. I'm not trying to keep you here for too long. Subscribe to the channel because more information is coming about how to use AI to enhance your government contracting. Have a fucking fantastic day.